So, Cameron, you're now a very well accomplished and acclaimed performer, arranger, and tutor. Where did music all start for you?
So I was born in Grimsby, and I started learning the guitar when I was 3. I studied music locally for a long time, and I went to Caister Grammar School. When I was 16, I decided that I wanted to start sort of seeing what other musicians were doing, and so I applied to the junior department of the Royal Academy of Music, and I went there every Saturday. So that's where I started. Started with the guitar, but I very quickly moved on from that and took up the piano when I was about 6. Yellow diamonds in the light, and we're standing side by side. I won a choral scholarship, and I looked at lots of different colleges, and I decided that I really wanted to sing with a mixed voice choir. So I applied to Trinity College, which had a very famous choir, and started there in 2011 and did music. And then I graduated in 2014 and then was offered a job teaching at the university.
And then music took you to New York.
It did, yes. I did a master's at the Juilliard School, also in piano. That was 2 years, and then I stayed there for a 3rd year and joined the staff there. So until the pandemic, I was still living in New York and commuting back to Europe once or twice a month for my own teaching and for performances and that kind of thing. And then this hit, and so I've been in Grimsby since March, and all of my work has shifted online.
A lot of people I talk to who are students or performers are struggling to actually get around the idea of doing it online.
Yes.
How did you manage to make that transition?
Well, for me, I'd done it a lot already. So even before this hit and learning online became a necessity, I had students in Los Angeles and Arizona, and I had a few in China and a couple in Europe, but mostly across America and Asia. And it worked really well for me because I found that I became very efficient in how I communicated information.
So that transition that you made to virtual, is that where the idea for the Virtual Music Academy came from?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I knew it worked for me. The initial reason why I did it was because I had a waiting list for my own students, and I was realizing that I was spending a lot of my lessons teaching people things that I thought they already ought to know. So I hired a teacher to start teaching music theory for me, and I also hired a piano teacher, and they started having piano lessons. So that actually meant that the online thing became so much more efficient. And then during lockdown, I was talking to a friend of mine from Cambridge, and we became partners and started this school. And it's gone from much more than that now. So we also offer violin and piano, singing obviously, cello, saxophone, classical guitar and trumpet, as well as what we call practical musicianship classes, which are the music theory, ear training, sight singing, those kinds of classes. So everything that you need to become a kind of consummate musician.
Looking at the faculty, I mean, these are people who students wouldn't normally be able to get access to.
That's absolutely right. And that was one of the things I really wanted to be central to the school, was that I wanted people, wherever they lived in the world, to be able to access the best teaching that was around. And nowadays, there's no reason why that's not possible.
Now, as well as the students that you're teaching, you also give vocal training to some of the Broadway and West End stars.
I do, yeah, mainly Broadway. Yes, so at the moment, well, it's all closed at the moment, but I have a student who is one of the leads in the new production of West Side Story. And he also filmed it with Steven Spielberg, which was meant to come out earlier this year and is now delayed. And then I've taken others who have started very young and then trained them up, and then they auditioned and did really well in shows like Matilda, Frozen. I had a couple in School of Rock. And also I had a few who've done The Voice and America's Got Talent. And actually I have one who's doing The Voice this season. And I have to arrange a song for him by the end of tomorrow, which they asked me for yesterday. So that's tomorrow's job, is to write a 90-second cut of a song and then record it for him.
So you've been working with one of our presenters, Kirsty. How did you get on with Kirsty? What did she think?
Well, I think she has a really pretty voice. It's a very, very beautiful voice, very pure, very natural and not pushed at all, which I really enjoy. And I think we did some really good work. We work on using the voice efficiently and healthily. And what that does is gives you control. You can't efficiently communicate your story unless you have control over the way that you do it. You can't have thought and emotion unless you know how to do it, unless you know how to show it. Otherwise, the whole thing falls apart. Oh, that's lovely.
So, Cameron, what's the future for you now?
Oh, blimey. I've really gotten into writing my own songs, or arranging my own songs, and mainly pop songs that I've written sort of ballad versions of and that kind of thing, just with voice and piano. And I'd really like to explore a lot more of that and hopefully take that further and build an audience for it.
Yellow diamonds in the light, and we're standing side by side as a shadow crosses mine. What it takes to come alive. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. We found love in a hopeless place. We found